and become death, shatterer of worlds. The words uttered by Robert Oppenheimer, creator of the world's first atomic bomb in 1945. It's a passage from the Bhagavad Gita, one of the holy scriptures of Hinduism. Now the defenders of the Hindu faith have unleashed their own shatterer of worlds.
Today, at 15:45 hours, India conducted 3 underground nuclear tests in the Pokhran range.
In power for only 2 months, Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee has unveiled the patriotic fervour of his ruling BJP party. But away from this hand-picked multi-ethnic renter crowd is another more powerful force, a secretive Hindu fundamentalist movement called the R.S.S. An organisation whose founders openly admired Hitler. A group that counts the Prime Minister as a lifelong member, who champions its ideology of strident nationalism. It's an ideology that's now driving India towards the brink of a nuclear arms race. It's 40 degrees, school holiday time in Delhi. But this is no fun in the sun affair. This is the R.S.S. The R.S.S, or the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, is a national volunteer organization devoted to building a new India, a Hindu India. Prime Minister Vajpayee is a graduate of R.S.S camps. He describes them as the soul of his BJP party. With an R.S.S man now running the country, there's a spring in the step of the new recruits.
Unless and until this whole country becomes strong, united, and acquires an important place in the community of the nations in this world, our work will continuously go on.
By any reckoning, K.S. Sudarshan, General Secretary of the R.S.S, is now one of the most powerful figures in India.
The R.S.S wanted to inculcate this spirit of oneness of the country. This country is one, this culture is one, the people are one. So in order to inculcate this idea and an all-India perspective, as also a dedication to the country and discipline. These are the basic traits that are needed for the renaissance of any country. So R.S.S was started with this very purpose, to unite the Hindu society, to make them patriotic and disciplined.
With its martial theme, the R.S.S has been described as a cross between the Boy Scouts and the Hitler Youth. These recruits are not rabble-rousers from the slums. They are the sons of Hindu India's educated middle class. Muslims and the poor need not apply. The indoctrination process starts early. Like their fascist forebearers in 1930s Europe, summer camp is the ideological training ground, turning today's students into tomorrow's political stormtroopers.
They affect the minds of the children, they catch them young in 2 ways. Those who go through their schools, But obviously only a fraction of India's children will go through their schools. But what is more important is they build up these militant gangs. There are stormtroopers. There are brown shirts, if I may call them, through their daily drills, which they hold in public places. And according to the latest statement, they have got more than 100,000 such shakhas or branches working every day.
It's completely voluntary. So when it is completely voluntary, how can you compare it to either the Hitler or Mussolini or something of the sort? It's become a fashion to call such a thing as fascist and all those things. It's not at all. Because we cannot enforce anybody to come to the R.S.S. or come to our camps.
O Hindu, ab to jaag, kantha mein lagi phansi. O Hindu, ab to jaag, kantha mein lagi phansi.
Those who do come are taught to chant the mantra of oppression, of a millennium of Muslim and British domination that subjugated the Hindu people.
So over the years, when somebody grows up in this militant culture and he's given a dose of pseudo-intellectuality, given a certain version of India's history, which emphasizes the glories of the Hindu times, and it talks about 1,000 years of slavery under the British and under the Muslims, then it molds a mind which is basically anti-negative. It does not accept everybody as equally Indian. Therefore, it is not democratic.
What about the criticism that there is an element of brainwashing in these camps?
No, not at all brainwashing. As a matter of fact, if you call the instilling of patriotism and discipline among the youths as brainwashing, then I think every country in this world is doing this thing to their children.
Muslim tombs form the backdrop of what is euphemistically called self-defense classes. The long tradition of street fighting stretching back to its foundation in the 1920s as an anti-Muslim defense group. Today, in public at least, the group is vague about the enemy. After all, the R.S.S. now claims all Indians are Hindu.
We believe that India is a Hindu nation. And whenever say it is a Hindu nation, we take the word Hindu to have a nationalist connotation.
What about the 120, 140 million Muslims?
They are all Hindus. Because Hindu does not mean one particular way of worship. Some believe in God, some do not believe in God also. All of them have got a place in the Hindu society, in this nation, Hindu nation.
The R.S.S. National Jamboree, an event strangely reminiscent of rallies in 1930s Germany. For the shock troops of the R.S.S., these are the glory days. When the leaders speak, many assume it's now with the imprimatur of the new government.
परंतु अगर पता रहा चाइना को और पाकिस्तान को कि भारत के पास भी मिसाइल है, प्रक्षेपणास्त्र है, एटम बम है, तो फिर कोई उसमें से दुस्साहस नहीं करेगा भारत के ऊपर आक्रमण करने का.
Behind the scenes are Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Home Minister Lal Krishna Advani, both dedicated R.S.S. members, imposing role models for this vast army that aims to dominate the political, religious and military stratas of India.
R.S.S. is an organization which I regard as a unique organization. Its principal contribution to the country is inculcation of feelings of patriotism, selflessness, and discipline in in the youth. I was 14 years old when I joined the R.S.S.
You are a proud member of the R.S.S.
Yes, I am a proud member of the R.S.S.
With the BJP now eclipsing the Congress party as the dominant force in Indian politics, there are claims of a hidden agenda. That now it's in power, the BJP party will be revealed as nothing more than a front for the R.S.S.
My first comment is the government, the R.S.S. is not backing this government. The R.S.S. is running this government. It's not just a remote control. It's day-to-day guidance and direction.
We do not say that we control it. We do not control. Many of the times if we get some feedback from the different areas, and because we are actually in the know of the things what is happening in police, just pass on this information to them. It is for the political party to take its own decision.
So you are in a position of power now. You have the Home Minister, the Prime Minister, and a few cabinet ministers, all of whom are Swayamsevaks.
Yes, the Home Minister is our Swayamsevak, the Prime Minister is our Swayamsevak, our Human Resource Development. So some of them are, but there are so many other ministers also.
On the part of the R.S.S., they keep on saying that we are basically only a cultural organization. It must be the strangest cultural organization in the world, if you ask me. Because have you heard of any cultural organization in the world that carries out political campaigns, that lends its cadres to a political party like the BJP? That was, of course, what happened during the whole campaign about the destruction of the mosque at Ayodhya.
In 1992, a Hindu mob tore down the Babri Mosque at Ayodhya, claiming the site was sacred to the Hindu faith. That incident sparked riots all over India. When the smoke cleared, 3,000 people were dead. Both the BJP and the R.S.S. were implicated. Before the final assault, Lal Krishna Advani, then an opposition figure, was in the vanguard of the Hindu nationalists rallying at Ayodhya. Now, as Home Minister, he's facing charges of inciting the mobs to riot.
It was a kind of a setback. It had nothing to do with either the BJP or the R.S.S. It was done by some people. I do not know who did it. And it was an unfortunate incident. It should not have taken place.
You are now facing charges on that incident. Will you resign?
I have nothing to say about that.
The only independent documentation of that affair was produced, in fact, by what was called the Citizens Tribunal, a public citizens tribunal that was set up, which had 3 retired judges, 2 former Supreme Court judges and 1 Calcutta High Court judge as the adjudicators. And it did not have any legal force, but it had moral force. And this produced a documentation in which it put the finger firmly on the R.S.S. combine, the R.S.S.-BJP combine, for a calculated conspiracy to destroy the Babri Mosque.
One of the areas worst hit by rioting was Bombay. Entire communities were razed. 6 years on, the Muslim survivors still live in cramped transit camps. The horror of what occurred and what may be repeated is palpable.
हमारे घर के 2 चले गए. आफत हमारे घर में दोनों को आने की थी और किसी के घर पे आफत नहीं आई है. जो सीधे लोग थे वो फंस गए.
और वहाँ पे हमारा एक ऐसा वक्त था कि हम लोग पुलिस के पास भीख मांग रहे थे कि हमको बचाओ, हमको निकालो. तो उन पुलिस लोगों का एक ही अल्फाज था, अरे तुम मरेंगे तो अच्छा हुआ, एक मुसलमान और कम हो जाएगा.
Even before the Ayodhya riots, the R.S.S. never really enjoyed support here. The Bombay squalor is a world away from the well-heeled recruiting grounds of the R.S.S. This is a nation where nothing is forgotten and little is forgiven. The poor still remember the role of the R.S.S. in the death of their champion, Mahatma Gandhi, the father of what was supposed to be new, racially tolerant India. Since its formation in 1925, the reputation of the R.S.S. has been under constant attack. But it was here, in this park, on January 30, 1948, that the R.S.S. suffered its most severe setback. It was along these sandstone steps that India's most revered leader, Mahatma Gandhi, took his final walk. It was here, on his way to afternoon prayers, that he was gunned down by a crazed Hindu fanatic. His assassin, a man with close links to the R.S.S.
Do you know what are Mahatma Gandhi's own words about the R.S.S.? Mahatma Gandhi called the R.S.S. He said the R.S.S. is a totalitarian organization with a communal outlook. If Mahatma Gandhi was alive today, he would be horrified by what has been done.
Now, if you try to bring about a Hindu India, an India in which one country, one religion, one language, one culture, it will create too many tensions in the name of language or in the name of religion or in the name of race. And that is why it frightens me as an Indian that this narrow-minded, fascistic approach, anti-democratic, illiberal approach can lead India to disaster.
For the BJP and the R.S.S., exploding 5 nuclear bombs under the sands of the Pokhran test range is something to be celebrated, even spiritualized.
It's frightening. I don't understand taking the sands and going around and going around different parts of the country and projecting this as an embodiment of their commitment to the greatness of Mother India. You know, like taking holy water and all. Taking sands of Pokhran, radioactive sands, they'll do it. They're talking already, the VHP has already said that it is going to build a temple there. A temple dedicated to Shakti, the goddess of power.
Appeasing the goddess of power looks set to trigger a dangerous nuclear arms race with Pakistan, which is now prepared to test its own bomb. For the R.S.S., India is now marching towards a glorious future. But soon there may be many apprehensive glances to make sure that the sun is not the only thing glowing on the horizon.